Hey, Poodle family, it is Joe Way. I am back for another edition. I'm in my office. I'm in my little conference room today. Hopefully, lights stay on this week. Hopefully, we don't have interruptions. Could happen. It could happen at any moment. I keep thinking I need to do a background, so it looks like I'm in the POODLCAST studios or something like that every week. But no, you get my real life with this. You got me on vacation. You get me here. You got me at home. So I'm at work. We are. So we're rolling. As you all know, I work on a college campus, so we're in our first week. Things are going crazy. Students are back. It's kind of weird to be in this half COVID world, half not COVID, trying to pretend we're normal. So anything's possible. Anything's possible. But this episode. It actually was inspired by my staff as we were sitting here. I am going to do a short one today. I know I said that last week and it ended up going on, but I am going to do a shorter one today because of the first week of classes, and I got to get back to normal life. But it was inspired by being here in the office talking to my teammates. All right, so people on my team and my employees, they all know that I'm involved in crypto stuff and in investing, and been there with stocks and all that stuff. And I need to move my little window over so I can pretend to look at the chat while we're doing this. It looks like you're about 20 seconds behind me. But so here's what happened. Let's talk about this. And maybe as you talk to other people who are curious about how they're a little shocked you're investing in crypto, and especially a meme token, and what to do. And you hear these things about did you get lucky to get into something earlier? I missed XYZ and I need to get the next big one. And I just want to encourage everybody that is the worst way of thinking about something. Is it good to be in early? Am I proud to have been into Poodle way, way, way early, really within the first few days of this kind of re-going? Sure, absolutely. But also say it was also early on in my investing career. I mean, I didn't go drop, tens of thousands of dollars in it, in day 1, 2, where, maybe I should have, but, you develop over time. But here's what I want to say to people today. Let me set up the situation. Someone who works for me was sitting there talking, and he said this. He said, I need, it looks like, invested in GameStop. He's like, GameStop's on its way up. I can't wait till it gets to 317 so I can sell it. I went, okay, awkward number to decide that's when you're going to sell a stock, but why 307? I had to inquire, why 317? He's like, well, because that's where I bought it at. And then it dropped. And so I want to get my money back and sell it at that. Some of you all know where I'm going with this. This is how I came up with the title of How to Be Unlucky in Crypto Trading. I really could say in all trading, because this is what's crazy about people. His comment was that people follow a trend and they get up there, and he said, well, my wife said you can't miss out on GameStop, you got to go, and plus he's a gamer, right? So he sees this and he jumps in, he buys it 317, and what was the height? 317, like, it wasn't much over there, but he got it toward the height, right? And then it drops, because that's what happens. Markets go up, markets go down. Then he's thinking, I lost money, I need to recoup my money. Okay, you realize if you sell at when you either below or at, you've just done nothing. You've not invested. What you've done is you've put in your own personal ideas and your own personal fear in front of actually trading, right? What I think people do, I know, I love it. So I'm going to watch this. I was waiting for the word rug pull to come up, and it did. Because that is exactly what happens when you follow a trend, or when you say, what's the next big, right? There is nothing with looking at what a projection of a market is, right? If we see in the big picture, for example, let's look at going into COVID. What's one of the stocks really did well? The markets that did well, paid dividends. Things like Home Depot, right? Why? Because people were home and they thought, hey, they're going to start working on projects and they're going to start doing that. What has slowed down, though, as we return to the market? Home Depot, right? Because people are returning, people are coming back to work, they're now not there. And so therefore, you're looking at what trends are. Well, what happens is people don't actually follow a market trend, they follow what the right word is, a hype trend. And that's the thing that what happens is in crypto, it's really easy for people to try to make you fear that you're going to miss the next XYZ, miss the next DOGE or Bitcoin, or you missed out on Bitcoin, so now get into rocket this, that, moonshot, baby doggy, whatever. And like, who would ever invest in that stuff, not having any idea what's happening? I'm actually shocked that in August now, and these things came out, probably about 2 months ago, it was pretty popular for all of the Inu, baby, grandfather, papa dog, Doge, whatever, would start to come out. I really made that thought. I had the thought that, okay, people are going to stop falling for that, right? They're going to stop falling for it. But they haven't. They're still investing in it, and people are still getting rugged, and they're still trying to follow the hype of what they think is going to happen, right? So how to be unlucky in crypto is allowing whatever person on Telegram messaged you, whoever DM'd you on Twitter saying, make sure you don't miss out on XYZ. That's probably the biggest way to lose on something. If you are actually part of a project that has a long-term strategy, that's how you're going to win. Now, let's take, for example, everybody who, I'm going to take here in my office, right? Same guy who bought his GameStop. He's waiting for it to get to where he bought it so that he can sell it. Fine, if that's his prerogative. But what we want to understand is that basic inflation, basic move of a market is going to have its normal ups and downs, and it's going to settle. Typically, if you look at 5-year projections, things that actually have a utility behind it, and GameStop does. It's a retail store. It has a following. It has people who use it, right? Will probably be higher in its 5-year projection than it was even at the height of its hype, because that's how these things work. And so now, if he actually took that and pocketed it, it's not lost money until you sell, right? And why would you want to give other investors an interest-free loan to have bought months ago, let it lose, when you get back, and then give it back, right? So what you want to be able to do is say, have a 5-year outlook, right? Now, that also means looking at something that's a utility. If you are looking, and we say this here, everyone knows, like, the buy high and sell low. We've seen this come across the Telegram, all of our Poodle people, right? How many times does someone come in and go, oh, I bought for 600, now it's worth 80. I need to sell it. What, like, hopefully everybody is like laughing at this, unless you're one of those people who thinks that. Or they start selling on the way down because they think, I don't want to lose more. Like, alert. You don't lose anything until you sell. You also don't gain until you sell. This is why I think every project, if you get behind it, has to have a 5-year outlook, right? And when you start looking at a project that has, we talked last time or whatever, a couple times ago about just the way you do redistribution, right? As more people buy and sell, even if the price is the same, we're building our bags. Is it bad for me if you want to panic sell and panic buy? I don't care. I'm building my bag, right? But what we want to recognize that if you have a 5-year outlook on these things, you're going to end up making money over time. And that's the important thing, because stability over time is one of the biggest things to work in a market. I'm going to make my projection now. Now, I said it'd be 2 months before people stop falling for baby grandpa, moonshot, this, that, whatever, Inu. I'm going to say it's going to be 2 more months. 2 more months, and those things are going to go away, right? And I really believe that. I think what's going to happen is we're going to start to see the alt and the meme start to come together under certain, under just a Uh, the few who have actually decided and shown that they're there for a long-term project. And that's exactly what we're doing. We've already seen everything we're doing, the NFTs and the VR and the wearables and the utilities coming, a lot of projects that are coming down the road. Those things are what's important, right? And that's what we're going to start to see is those people who actually put their money in and walked away from Poodle and then come back and go, oh, okay, we're teetering. If you started to watch our numbers, we actually have a nice shelf in value start pretty much planted. We had a lot up, a lot of down, but we're pretty solid right now. That's exactly what we want to see. That's the best thing for, especially as we brought that redistribution down to create more action and more trade volume, is exactly what has to happen here, right? So now, what's the worst thing you can do right now? And that would be sell. Actually, probably sell anything, but honestly, sell this, right? And your best bet right now is to be able to say, okay, don't even look at what you bought in for. And that's also an unlucky tip. And I hear this all the time. In fact, my employee here did this. They worried about what he bought at. Don't worry what you bought at. Look at the value you have and a trajectory from the point, right? If you weren't the person who got Amazon on day one, or you weren't the person who got Google at the beginning, okay, so what? But still, buying a stock that has value, right? And that's the same thing about a meme token with utility. And that's why I almost wish we could come up with a new name for an altcoin or a meme token or whatever that actually builds a utility, because we're separate than all of those, right? That, what we've seen that Poodle actually moves more in line with, beyond just being a brand, just beyond being something that's fun and memes. It actually is something that's a community and something of its own, which we've talked about in previous episodes. You want to go for that. So that's where you want to start to look at this. And so, hopefully I don't have to tell everyone. I know that people are kind of coming new to Poodle and they're catching up on episodes. Thank you for messaging me. I love hearing your guys' stories. And you think, the FOMO that, and panic selling and all these things, as you start seeing it go up and you got to buy, and then you freak out and you sell, and you buy. But do you realize every time you do that, you end up losing money? All right, we talked about this. If we have a 3% tax, that's 3% on purchase and 3% on sale. That means every time you do something, you end up having to have a 6% change. So if you want to sell and you want to get back in, it means it has to have a change value of 6% for you to make anything, right? It's basic math. 6% is actually a pretty decent number. I know when we talk about tokens, you talk about crypto, people, win 1000x, right? Everyone, just make sure someone goes to Rose and ask her, win Moon. I love the video she played too, by the way. When people start doing that, what happens is, if think about it this way, if you were to buy and sell 3 times, paid 6% tax to do that every time, right? Got to buy, sell, 18%. I'm sorry, but if I had something that made me 18% even over a year, I'd be okay. On a 5-year projection, this becomes as one of Benjamin Franklin's famous quotes. Is one of the most magical things or powerful things is compound interest, right? Your bag that grows exponentially over time. So 6% upon 6% upon 6%, and you're taking that. In 5 years, that actually ends up becoming a value of 1000x. Again, this isn't about 1000x tomorrow. It's about 1000x over time, which we will get there. We've talked about it. I don't even want to get into my previous episodes. You can go back and watch that. But what I can say is my one thing of how to be unlucky, and this brings it all back around to one simple thing. The one way to be unlucky in crypto trading is simply to worry about what's happening right now. If you're following a chart and not following a purpose, you're going to lose every time. If you're following fear and not following a community, you're going to lose every time. If you're following whoever DM'd you that you never heard of and has an egg on their Twitter profile, you're going to lose every time. Even if they swear to you that because they knew how to write a white paper and tell you this is the next thing, you're going to lose every time, right? So what I definitely encourage you to do is look at the tokens, and this is where Poodle is strong, and count all the check boxes. Are they active? Do they have a purpose? Are they growing? Are they staying current? Do you see movement? All of these things are what's going to show over time. If you were going to invest in a regular stock, what are you going to look for? You're going to look for continuous business growth, right? This is what we see in Amazon. This is what we see in Google. This is what we see in YouTube. All these different stocks that are big, whether they're blue chips or tech stocks, they get their value in continuous movement. And that's exactly what we want to do. So, hey, thanks, Jimmy. I'm not planning on stopping the show. I mean, how many times I've wanted to skip an episode, but I can't. I love y'all too much. This is the highlight of my week. So that being said, that's the short one for today. I know I said short. I'm in 16 minutes, which actually makes it not terribly short anymore because, this seems to be my average episode. So that being said, next week's going to calm down a little bit. We're going to get back into some guests, and I'm looking up a couple of things on the chat right now. But absolutely, yeah. I love here's actually something Jim points out. Top 50 holders look pretty evened out. No whales to dump. I love that. Even with stocks, I'm talking about stocks, real estate, 100%. You know, what your neighborhood is like, right? Let's put it this way. What makes real estate better and more valuable? Location, of course, but taking that away, the community you're around, right? If you happen to have if you live in a community that, has an HOA that, give or take HOA, but let's say they invest in being able to make sure the grass is mowed, right? That you make sure that the streets are paved, that you make sure that, all the neighbors have a nice roof at all times, right? That brings value. That's where real estate goes up. Well, a meme token, a utility token was there. I'm going to say that for now on. We're a utility token. I love that. As you start to look at that and you see a utility token having more action, more purpose, growing its brand and growing how it can be used, I'm really, really excited about a lot of the VR and AR opportunities with Poodle. I think that's just cool to me. So I'm looking for that. But those are the signs that make the real estate value go up. That's exactly what Poodle has. So again, thank you for this. How to be unlucky: buy, forget what you bought at, and invest in the community and invest in the purpose. Have a 5-year outlook, and you will be amazed at how this goes. By the way, use that for everything, all stocks, all real estate. Do your own research. This is not financial advice, but it's actually really good financial advice. It's actually basic economics. So there we go. Thank you, everyone. Guests up. We're going to see you back into some regular old programming in the next couple weeks. So have a great one, and we'll see you next time.